Hey, what's going on? Today I want to share with you a story that's pretty hot in the news right now and may even scare some people if you've done something similar. Folks, this involves those PPP loans that were given out during the COVID situation. And there's a video that's pretty viral right this second involving a woman down in Florida by the name of Destiny Harris, who is being arrested 4 years later for fraudulently obtaining those PPP loan funds back during that time. Can you imagine feeling like you potentially got away scot-free? I mean, that money is long gone at this point, and 4 years later, here come the police knocking on your door. I know that there's got to be others out there who are terrified, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to. You know, there was somebody that I actually featured on After Prison Show. Him and I went out in a not so good way, no fault of my own. But I know personally that this individual got one of those PPP loans, and I'm quite certain even got a similar amount of money. Folks, if you do some investigating here on After Prison Show, go deep dive down the rabbit hole of video content, especially during that time, and you may figure out exactly who I'm talking about. But I ain't no snitch, though. Hey, aren't they giving out rewards for information in relation to that? Could you imagine the implications? Anyways, hey, that was just to stir the pot a little bit. Folks, let's go ahead and take a look at this video involving this woman down in Florida who's getting jammed up 4 years later over some money that is long gone. She got arrested for COVID-19 unemployment fraud 4 years later. Look at the tears, folks.
I can't go to jail, Mom.
I can't go to jail.
So you have to go. I don't know what's going on.
She's talking to her mother right now. Her mother's saying, you got to go to jail.
On September 13th, 2024, a woman named Destiny Harris gets a knock on her door from police with a warrant for her arrest for unemployment fraud that she allegedly committed 4 years ago. But let's take it back to 2020. In the wake of the COVID-19 outbreak, numerous Americans lost their jobs, resulting in a significant rise in unemployment applications. This also led to some people attempting to exploit the system for benefits they were not eligible for.
Real quick, hey, did any of y'all receive that legitimately, the paycheck protection policy or whatever it was referred to as? I certainly did not. And I know that I was hearing about, people who were getting this, especially one person that I know personally, who damn well didn't deserve it. They were wailing, AKA lying on applications, saying that they were employed when they never were employed. Hell, I had even heard of people in prison who were getting these PPP loans.
A financial investigator with the Department of Economic Opportunity informs a detective in the city of Delray Beach that 4 people had reported they received unemployment claims by employees who were still currently employed. An investigation was then initiated. 3 months later, after all the information was collected on the claimants, their phone providers were issued subpoenas. Detectives find one of the claimants was victim of identity theft while the other 3 had filed for benefits themselves. Each employee was paid the minimum $275 a week. And
could you imagine you getting ready to go to jail behind $275 a week? But that shit adds up. And in fact, in this woman's case, Destiny Harris down here in Florida, she got a hell of a lot more than $275.
Did not have hours reduced. Therefore, they were not eligible to file with DEO. Fast forward to December 2022, the detectives speak to each claimant over the phone and meet for an in-person interview. 2 of them all filed unemployment claims for themselves when they should not have been entitled to the benefits, but there was insufficient evidence to support a criminal charge for filing a fraudulent unemployment claim.
Damn, the police had them, but they didn't have enough to actually charge them criminally. So what I've heard in relation to this is that, one of 2 things can happen: civil suit or criminal charges. And in Destiny's case, I'm guessing it's going to be the latter. She's going to be getting the criminal charges.
They believed they were filing based on the work status of a secondary employment. As for Destiny Harris, she allegedly told the detectives that she did not file as she was working full-time, but after police accessed her bank records, it was found that she had received $19,975.
Damn, she straight up lied to the police and told them that she was working full time. The only work that she was doing was collecting that weekly $275 that amounted to almost $20,000. Hey, it was good while it lasted, right? How far will $20,000 actually go? Pretty damn far, I'd imagine.
Harris scheduled to meet with the detective on January 2023 but failed to show.
Oh,
She was
man.
contacted several times after and the phone would go straight to voicemail. A letter was then sent to her listed address, however the letter was returned as undeliverable. But Destiny failed to realize that due to this her case remained active and eventually police would come knocking.
And then this is the police going to her residence or where she's staying at. She would end up saying that this wasn't her house and she was just house sitting or dog sitting for someone and she needed to contact the homeowner. And then she would go on to say that she needed to make a phone call and her phone was by the couch and she didn't want to open the door for the police. And the police are really, just letting this situation play out. Obviously, they have a warrant for her arrest. She's also denying the fact that she is, in fact, Destiny Harris. There was a lot of cat and mouse that was taking place at the door. Eventually, the police would tell her that they know that she is, in fact, Destiny Harris and that they had a warrant for her arrest for something that happened 4 years ago. You know, I wanted to say, you probably ain't even thinking about this anymore. That's long gone, you know? Hey, we did it. It worked. We got away with it. But in her particular case, I don't think that that's true because the police have been in contact with her. And for over a year, she's been trying to duck them until this one faithful day recently when the police came a-knocking and her ass was going to jail. Folks, how much time do you think unemployment fraud carries? Well, I'll be honest with you, I personally have no idea. I don't think I ever met anybody who was locked up for unemployment fraud. I did. I was actually locked up with a guy who was locked up for insurance fraud. And I think it was something in relation to a workers' comp insurance fraud situation that went way out of control. I'll never forget this for as long as I live. I was 18 years old. This was the first guy that I was ever meeting while in jail who had an insurance fraud case. And you got to imagine that would not stick with me, being able to remember that from so far back because it sounds just so mundane. But in this particular guy's case, it was anything but that, because when the police came a-knocking on his door, Stickman started letting loose through the front door, right through the front door shut with a shotgun. Kaboom! And then magically, that insurance fraud charge that they came a-knocking for metamorphed into an attempted capital murder, trying to shoot at a police officer. His defense and what he would tell me was, hey, I didn't know who it was. I was paranoid. I don't know whatever happened with that guy in that case. I don't know if he even struck an officer, which, God willing, he did not. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. He told me while he was getting the insurance money, the workers' comp money or something like that, that these investigators, like these private eyes, would be snooping around. Now, back then, 18 years old, they didn't have drone technology. But could you imagine nowadays, file you a workman's comp claim if you want to, and that shit be a little sus. Go slip and fall in a Walmart if you want to. Man, they gonna be in your backyard with a DJI Phantom 4. Hovering around, trying to see what you're doing. Is that neck brace still on? All right, so in terms of how much time does employment fraud carry, and you got to think about this, man, you stole from the government. Man, the government ain't going to play when it comes time to collect. But I did a little bit of digging on this, and I'm getting a lot of mixed answers, and it seems that it differs from state to state. Obviously, in relation to how much money was actually collected is probably going to play into that as well. Take Destiny Harris down in Florida. She got 20 bands that they're coming after her for. I don't know if she's able to pay that back. Does this automatically go away? I also saw that in my state of Virginia, let me go back to that. Unemployment fraud can result in a number of penalties, including criminal prosecution, fines, repayment, loss of eligibility. But I saw something that had said in my state in Virginia, you could be locked up for 60 days or something like that. Here's Virginia right here. They said that this could be a class 1 misdemeanor. Yeah, unemployment compensation. It could be a class 1 misdemeanor. But again, we're talking about getting money from the government. We're not talking about getting money from a small business, state entity. So let's go to this law firm right here who, the one thing that I love about law firm websites is they are designed and set up to scare the bejesus out of you. Oh, you're going to pay to play. Go ahead and get you a lawyer now. If you've got any type of feeling that you might have accidentally obtained some PPP funds fraudulently. But here we go right here. Let's just skip to this section. It says, what are the penalties for unemployment fraud? And they are very vague in their answer. Let's just read the first paragraph. It says, as we previously mentioned, offenders can face both civil and criminal penalties if they are caught committing unemployment insurance fraud. Civil penalties are often done by paying fines, while criminal penalties might put you under probation or, in worse cases, inside prison. Yeah, you really told us a whole lot of nothing right there. Destiny Harris's case is very unique because of the fact that there's the body cam footage and it's gone viral all over TikTok. And, there's $20,000 that she fraudulently obtained, and she was ducking the police, which just looks super guilty right there. There's going to be no way that you can fight this. Your best, bet would be to repay this if you're able to do so. But think if you're just barely getting by at this point. Repayment's not even going to be an option. Would you accept a payment plan? I can give you $5 a month. I don't think that they're really going to go for that. I've seen a lot in relation to this since this Destiny Harris video has come out. Things such as there's a PPP loan warrant list on the internet somewhere. I did a little bit of digging trying to find out where that is and who's actually on that list, including that one particular person who was on AfterPrisonShow. But I would come to realize, at least what I found on the internet, was that is false. There is no warrant list out there. Not yet, at least. Is there a reward? You see where I'm going with this? Is there a reward for turning somebody in who obtained these funds illegitimately, illegally? I'd like to know. But what I did see was that there is a website where you can see who received these loans. You can look them up. Maybe you can look them up by name. I don't know. I don't know how deep that is. But that's pretty crazy to note right there. I don't know what's going to happen with this chick, Destiny Harris. I got to believe that she's probably going to have to go to jail for a little bit, probably something like 60 days and some probation. Hey, guess what? Her life is essentially over at this point because, well, let me rephrase that. We just read that this is a class 1 misdemeanor, but again, that's probably on a state level. On a federal level, is it still a misdemeanor? Well, one thing's for certain, it's a federal misdemeanor, if so. That's crazy. Is there such a thing as a federal misdemeanor charge? I'm honestly asking and have no idea. If you know better, show me down in the comments section. Let us all know. I'd be curious to see how this story plays out because it is a viral story in the news right now. It's crazy how you cry when you get caught. But back during, hey, Dad, what was Call of Duty like during the pandemic? Have you seen the meme? It certainly was different back then. You ain't even have to go to work. And all you had to do was wait every Friday for that check to come. I think back to, 2020 when all of that was taking place and what I was doing. I was flipping houses. We had a nationwide lockdown, stay at home. Unless you were an essential worker. Joe, I was essential. I was a construction worker. Yeah, I was out there still working, man. Just go to show my work ethic, I guess. I know that would be argumentative to some. But anyways, hey, I just wanted to share this with you guys, get your opinion, what you think about this particular story. And let me know what you guys think. Hey, look, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did so, please leave a like and a comment on this, letting me know exactly what you thought about this. And as always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted and make the most of every day. Peace!